Hey, hi all. Very good morning. This is Ravi from Portfolio Auditor website. So I am the solo developer for this Portfolio Auditor tool. First of all, I would like to thank each and every one of you who shown the interest on the previous released version of the tool and tried out. And I received multiple feedback from the people. And also the other major feedback I have received, people were struggling to set up because it required a lot of manual steps to do that. So I took that feedback in serious manners. So I have released new version called version 1.3, where I have automated majority of the things. Now setting up this tool is much more easier than earlier. And also in this version 1.3, we have included both NPS as well as physical gold, physical silver, and the gold in the form of SGP transactions, also considered for portfolio tracking. So currently this portfolio auditor tool capable to track your mutual fund portfolio, your physical gold, silver, and SGP transactions, as well as your national pension scheme transactions. So in this version, you will get cumulative of all these assets. How was my portfolio standing? Now let's jump onto installation steps. I'm splitting this content into two different manner. Uh, One is a first thing is a people who are installing who are trying to install this tool on the very first time, and then the second part is all about people installed first time and then in the subsequent days what they supposed to do in order to track their portfolio on the daily basis. Okay, so let's start with it. So first time user, you can click get free license or login, whatever it is, and then do the sign up process. You can sign up via normal username, password, and register it. That is a first thing, or you can sign in with the Google also. Since I have already signed in, let me try to log in with the users. So as soon as you signed in, you will see this as your home page. And as you people already know aware about it, I'm giving you a 1 month free trial with all the features. There is no restriction between paid plan or free trial plan. So everything in the paid plan is included in the free trial also. So let's place 1 month free trial. Okay, free trial placed, order is placed, and you will have got an option of downloading the tool and the installation guide, and then live chat support if you want any doubt, and then you can even email us for the support. Once order is placed, let's download the tool. It's downloading it. Once it's downloaded, it will be in the zip folder. So I have already downloaded it, which is in zip folder, and I have right click and extract all. So the package will be extracted. So once you extracted it, this folder contains these many files. So what these files represents? So very first thing is, this is the actual portfolio auditor applications where you will upload your investment and you will do the daily refresh where it can fetch the latest NAV and calculate all the metrics which is required for the portfolio analysis. Sometime when you open the portfolio auditor application, you will see a screen like this, which is basically your Windows depender application preventing to open the applications. So which is a normal case because portfolio auditor is a very new applications. So just click the more info button, more info on the link, which will open the next screen like this, and then click run anyway. So the application will open. Now click this portfolio auditor applications, launches the portfolio auditor applications, and it will ask you to activate the license. So go to your login portal and for the beta order, copy the license key by clicking this icon and then enter and then activate the license. It will say that your license will be activated. Now, if you look at this screen, you will have 4 different options. So the first option is for the prerequisite setup, which you need to do as a one-time activity. And then the second option is investment upload, which is nothing but where you will upload your mutual fund investment, gold investments, and then NPS investments. And the daily refresh button represents after you uploaded the investments, you will click this button to fetch the latest NAV of those invested assets and calculate the market value, XIRR, and other benchmark comparison calculation. All things happens in these steps. And then once this is getting calculated, then you will open this Power BI report where it will pull all the data from your whatever data you have calculated, which is resides in the local databases, and then the Power BI report will visualize the data. Okay, so let's start with the step one. I need to install this Python package and then install the Power BI desktop. Why we need this Python package? So we are using the Power BI report to visualize the data. Basically, if you look at here, as soon as you open this applications, there is a database folder, logs folder, and key folder, everything get created. Key is nothing but your license key, which gets stored, and the logs, which contains your all the statistics about your investment calculations. If all went wrong, anything went wrong, all the data processed successfully, everything you will get tracked in the logs folder. And then database is the actual place where all your investments and then calculated value gets stored here. So the reason being we are saying that this tool is a privacy first, all the data resides in your PC because this is the database. It holds all your transactional data, which is within your PC itself. Okay. So now let's start with first prerequisites of installing Python installation. So just click the Python package, which will open the screen. And if you have already installed the Python, here if you look at Python 3.126 already installed, so it shows that it's shown as a found, and it did pip installation. And then there were two libraries, pandas and mat libraries record, which is by default automatically get installed. So once that is successful, the next step it will show you like now you need to install the Power BI desktop and then run the Portfolio Auditor application to upload the investment and calculate the latest value by clicking the daily refresh. Then Power BI report you can open and visualize the data. So let's close it. Now we have done the first step. Now second step, download and install Power BI desktop. So this will open the Microsoft website. Power BI desktop is a Microsoft product we are using for our visualizations. So you can just click the download button, which will download the file, which is a size of 831 MB, which might take some 5-10 minutes based on your internet speed and all the stuffs. Since I have downloaded already, I'm closing it. Now, after you downloaded the Power BI desktop, you just click and install the tool. Okay, just follow that. That is a very easy steps to follow, and just click next and install it. So once you've done these two steps, the next step what we need to do, we need to upload our investments. So the very first thing is we are going to upload mutual fund investments. So for this, what you need to do is select, just click the upload button, and here I have given the detailed steps how to download your mutual fund statement from CAMS website. So CAMS is a site where it will maintain all your mutual fund transaction, what date, what transaction you made, and how much you made, and how many units you accumulated across all the mutual funds. You might invested in few from Zerodha, few from Grova and everything, but this where you will get all the consolidated list of your mutual fund investments. So just click here, which will open the sites, and then click CAMS plus K FinTech, and then click detailed, and then select a specific trade and choose the from date as from when you have started your very first investments. It may not be accurate date. You can choose any approximate date. Let's say you have invested in 2022 or 2014. You invested on January 1st or January 10th, let's say January 8th, and then choose to date as a current date until today. And the folio listing is nothing but with balance folio, without balance folio. Without zero balance portfolio is nothing but it will not bring the already completely exceeded funds. You might have pulled the funds but you exceeded completely. So this option will pull the transactions only for current active fund where you have active investments. You can select these options. Suppose if you want to analyze even for already exceeded mutual fund, then select this option with the zero balance portfolio. Okay. So I would recommend first start with this without zero balance portfolio, then provide an email ID. So this email ID should be your investment linked email ID. So let's say whichever app you are investing it, but when you are registered, right, you might given one email ID. So that email ID you have to given here, and then you have to give your PAN number. Even though it shows as option, you should give mandatory value, and then give password. Password can be anything. Just give a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 something, and then give the same password. This password is only you will receive your CAM statement on your registered email, and to open that PDF, you need this password. So this password you need when you upload your statement in the Portfolio Auditor tool also. Okay. So once you've done this step, you will receive your CAM statement. Let us assume that you have a multiple emails linked. One email you link to one of the mutual fund, and other set of mutual fund you link to other email ID. No worry, you can do the similar step for each email ID, so that it will pull the respective mutual fund investments, and then CAM's statement you will receive it. So you will have more than one or more than two CAM statement. So our tool accept any number of PDF statement, but one by one at a time. But that all the statement belong to a same PAN number. It should be. Okay. So I have downloaded my CAM statement. I have it in my local system itself. Let me take that as an example. So I browse my CAM's PDF statement where I have downloaded my statement. So I have registered two different email ID. So this one is belong to one of the email ID. So I'm just first uploading it, and I have given the password what I given while generating the CAM statement, and then process statement. So it shows that you have 24 transaction updated it, and there were which belong to one fund, which is also updated in the respective table and stored in your local databases. Now select one other mutual fund statement, which is belong to my other email ID. Process it. So it added 747 transaction and inserted 11 new fund. And then I have recently made few more transactions. So I have downloaded the statement for recent month also. Okay. Now I have uploaded all the CAM's mutual fund statement, which included from my start of my first transaction to till date. You might ask one more question that, so this is a one-time activity I need to do, or when can I download next time the CAM statement? When I supposed to download next time, right? So basically, whenever you made new transactions, you download your approximate last 1 month or last 2 month transactions by selecting the from date and due date, and similarly follow the same email, password, and all the stuffs. So which download those period mutual fund transaction with the latest statement. You just upload it. Even it might have already loaded transactions, but our system intelligently handle the duplicate entry, so it will not insert any duplicate transaction. It will insert only a new transaction data. Okay. So the CAM statement, you can download it whenever new transaction made and then upload it again, so that you will keep appending your new transaction and do the analysis for your whole portfolio. So now we have done the mutual fund transactions. Now, as I said, in this version, we have added a new, we have enabled the new asset called you can track even gold, silver, and SGB transaction as well as NPS transactions. So for gold and silver and SGB transaction, click upload. There were two different options we are giving it. One is you can enter your physical gold, silver, or the SGB transaction you purchased from bank or post office or any other brokers. You can manually enter here by passing all these details. Let us assume that I have made some gold purchases, select a buy, and I have purchased on, let's say 2023 January, February or something, and then the purity is 22 karat, and I have purchased 10 gram, and the average price was around, let's assume that 6,000. So your total gold purchase on that day is 60,000, right? So you just save the transaction. Your purchase is recorded. Similarly, let's say you purchase some silver by transactions and you purchased on 2021. Let us assume that. And silver, you always choose purity is 999. And then quantity, let's say 50 gram, you purchased on the purchase price of, let's say 110 rupees. You purchase this from any, if you want any reference, you can add it. So we have added the gold, physical gold and physical silver. Let's assume that you have purchased some SGP transactions from bank or something. SGP transactions by default, let's say this also purchased on 24th December or something, and you just exchange anything you can select, doesn't matter as of now. And then you know what symbol you have purchased SGP, let's say which series you have purchased it. So just select it, the relevant series. Let's say for me, I'm selecting SGP January 30. And then if you know the ISIN number, you can feed it. If not required. Let's say I have purchased for 5 quantity. SGB always in grams will be purchased. 1 gram is the minimum. So let's say I have purchased for 5,000 rupees. So you made some save transactions. So your SGB transaction also reflected. So this way you can add your buy transaction. And let's say you have added you sold some of the gold transaction. You can record it. So sell, and how many quantity you have already purchased is, so totally you have a 10 quantity already available, which you have purchased on 2021, the previously recorded one. So you cannot able to sell more than 10 gram. So that is how our system intelligently designed. We simply will not accept any number of buy sell transaction based on whatever you bought earlier than sell date. That is where it will show you, then you can sell it, so that the tally between your buy and sell will be a proper. Okay, so let us assume out of 10 gram available, I have sold it 5 gram for, let's say 10,000 price on, let's say 2024. You market. So if you look at now the sell, if you want to sell it again, you will only have remaining 5 quantity to sell, right? So that is how you can update your gold, physical gold, silver or SGP transaction in detail. Now let us assume that you have SGB transaction purchased from Zerodha. So you might have a series of transactions. You don't want to enter it manually. So we have a CSV upload options. So what you're supposed to do is you follow the same steps. Log into Zerodha, reports tab. Under reports tab, click trade book. You have to select. You have to follow this process. Let me show you some quick thing so that you will get an idea. So this is my trade book. So under reports, trade book, under the console, select equity, and then, so let's say I have selected 2024-01 to 2025-0101. Because Zerodha will allow you to download only the maximum of 1 year transaction at any point of time. If you made more than 1 year data, then try to select 1 year cap data and then download the file. Right? So if you look at here, it will show all your trades, including your stock trades and everything. So just click download CSV button, which will download your trade book. So you can just name it as a financial year, whatever the financial year and all the things. Just download it from your first SGB transaction to till latest transaction and make the CSV available now. So since I have downloaded already, let me try to upload some of my transactions. So you need to pass the same PAN number. So why we are mandatorily asking the PAN number is that across all the assets, the PAN number is the one which maintain your uniqueness across your portfolio. So let's select, I have some of my gold investments. 2023 I have made 7 transactions, which is imported, and then 2025, 2026, and 2023. I don't have anything on the 2023. So now I have uploaded my SGP transaction via CSV file, which downloaded from the Zerodha console. Similarly, I have added for manual gold purchase also. In the manage transaction tab, you can just click a clear filter, which will show all your transactions. You can cross verify it. Suppose if you made any mistake in the transactions, let's say you want the physical gold buy and sell instead of 5 quantity, instead of 7 quantity, by mistake you are given as a 5 quantity. Then you just click edit and then update to 7. Okay. Likewise, you can be able to edit, or if you want to delete, you can even delete also few of the transaction or all the transaction. That's the purpose of the managed transactions. That's all about gold, silver, SGP transaction investment upload. Now let's come to NPS transactions. So in the NPS transactions, similarly, you can download your NPS transactions from the NPS sites tool, upload your NPS statement. In my case, I have investment from starting from 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25, 25, 26. So I have just uploaded my NPS investments also. So far I have uploaded my mutual fund, gold, silver, NPS statement. So one thing always remember, this is not something a one-time activity. Whenever you made a new transaction, you always download the latest trade investment data and then upload it here. So which the new transaction will be appended in the database side. As a next step, what we need to do is we have to refresh. So this daily refresh button, what it does is basically downloads the latest NAV price and calculate all the market value, realized gain, unrealized gain, XIRR, taxations, and the other important feature of portfolio versus benchmark comparisons, all the stuff's happening in the daily refresh button. Okay, so in the daily refresh, if you click it here, in the daily refresh, you can do on the asset based level. So let's assume that if you have only mutual fund investments, you may not have a hold or NPS investment, then you just upload your investment belong to a mutual fund alone. You no need to upload for gold or silver or NPS things. And then similarly, you just refresh for the mutual fund alone. You people already might aware about it. For a mutual fund, we are giving the one of the outstanding feature of how your mutual fund portfolio performed compared to your benchmark fund for the same investment. So exactly, if you did the same investment or redemption on same date on different index fund or different fund, whether your portfolio fund able to outperform or underperforming it, right? So for that, we have for that we need to choose what mutual fund you want to compare against it. So that is where these two buttons is represents. So as a first time when you do refresh, when you click saved benchmark, you haven't chosen any of the benchmark fund to compare against your mutual fund portfolio. So first time you need to choose your benchmark fund in order to compare against your portfolio fund. 6 different benchmark fund you can able to compare it. My portfolio has few index, Nifty 50, large cap, mid cap, small cap, and flexi cap. So this is the list of fund which you can able to compare against it. So you read this two statement prior selecting the benchmark fund. First thing is the benchmark fund the fund which you are selecting as a benchmark, it shouldn't be invested in your current portfolio. Let's say you have invested HDFC Nifty 50 index fund. Then you should not select the same fund as a benchmark fund to compare it. Similarly, if you invested, let's say, Motilal Midcap Fund, and you should not select the same fund as a benchmark fund. The second criteria is that whatever fund you are selecting it, that should be at least have equivalent years of old, which means that let's say Axis Midcap Fund you have invested for past 5 years. Then you can select any of the midcap fund or any fund as a benchmark fund that should be 5 years age old fund. You cannot select just a 2 years old fund to compare against your 5 years invested fund. Correct. In order to do the apple to apple comparison. So for my case, my fund is invested for almost 5 years. So I will filter the fund based on the 5 years, minimum 5 years, maximum it can be any 100 years old fund also. I'm fine with that. So the very first thing I want to select for Nifty 50 index fund, Nifty 50 index. You can select based on the category also. Either you can search by scheme name or scheme code, whatever it is. So I already have a scheme code. Let me search with the scheme code 119063, which select the HDFC Nifty 50 index fund. And then I want to select again, compare against my portfolio in Nifty 500 index fund 147625. And then 120684, which is Prudential Nifty Next 50 147666, and then 147622, and then 623. So if you look at, basically I have selected 6 funds. If I try to select any other fund, any of the fund, maximum 6 funds allowed to select as a benchmark fund. So I have selected this 6 fund which are equivalent to my portfolio investment period or anything more than that. I can able to compare against it. Okay. On clicking the submit button, basically what it does, this step is it will download NAV of all the your portfolio invested fund, your benchmark fund, and then try to mimic your investment against a benchmark fund, and then do all the taxation, XIRR, all the realized, unrealized gain calculations, rolling return calculation, all the stuffs happen in the steps for the mutual fund portfolio. So this step is completed. As soon as this step is completed, you can cross verify the logs. So what has happened at how much is my portfolio? So these are the calculation happens. So basically how much you invested, redeemed, withdrawal cost, the realized gains, and all the stuffs, XIRR and all the stuffs, it will calculate it. And also it will show you in the cumulative picture and all the stuff. These all metrics we will see it in the Power BI visualization chart. So I'm trying to explain here is that if you face any issues, try to look at the logs and see what is happening. Okay. Sometimes people choose by mistake. They have chosen some of the fund which already they have invested. Then they will see an error, fund duplication error, which means that you should not select the same fund as your benchmark fund, which is already invested in your current portfolio. So that is what about mutual fund refresh. Now let's comes to gold and silver SGB transaction refresh, where you made a lot of purchase and selling and all the stuffs. Now you want to understand what is the current market value, how much I gained, how many my unrealized gain, how much I withdrawal or sold it, all these things. So you just click the refresh, so which will fetch the latest gold price, silver price, and then for SGB also we are considering the 24 karat actual price. We are not considering the actual zero traded value, because SGB I am considering as a 24 karat gold only. Okay, so now which is updated with that. So you can cross verify in the logs. So your gold is physical gold you made, this much amount invested, and you have sell and realized gain and all the steps. And also what was the current XIRR, all the steps you will get calculated in the steps. And then similarly for NPS, it will fetch the latest NAV of the NPS assets and then calculate the similar stuffs. You can cross verify it on the logs. Okay, now let's close this, go to this. So now you have, as a first time user, you have, I'm just quickly summarizing it. You install the Python and then install the desktop. You uploaded up to date investment for all the respective assets, and then you refreshed with the latest NAV and calculated all the metrics. Now all the data is ready. Now you want to visualize the data. Just click the open visualizations, Power BI visualization report. Please make sure this Power BI report will open once you've done this prerequisites of step 1 and steps 2 successfully. Okay. Now this is the report actually designed to visualize all your investments. You can just click here, it will hide that. The only thing is you need to do is just click the refresh button here. Which basically pulls all the calculated values across multiple assets, your mutual fund, gold, and NPS, and all the things, and it will visualize the data. Sometime when you do very first time, it will pop up and saying that click run button. You click the run button. Got it. So this report I was split into individual asset level as well as overall portfolio level also. So it is overall indicating that combining all your investments, basically your metal, gold, silver, SGB assets together, called it as a metal, and then NPS and then mutual fund combined, what was your overall portfolio looks like. So to give a quick walkthrough, under overall portfolio summary, you will see cumulatively you have invested 60 lakhs and your current portfolio value is 78 lakhs. Okay. Similarly, and you have an unrealized gain of 22%, which is absolute unrealized gain. Similarly, you have how much you withdrawal and what was your realized gain and what was the realized gain percentage. And combining all these assets, what was your today's gain and how much percentage is. And then overall portfolio XIRR. This is the beauty here. So you have investment in multiple assets, but in single place, you want to see your overall growth. Generally, we'll have XIRR for mutual fund or stocks, but majority of the other asset, we don't even see what is the XIRR. So you don't know exactly what is your overall XIRR portfolio level. So in this tool, you can get overall for each assets combined, what is the XIRR? This XIRR represent based on your weighted average of your current portfolio value. So if you look at right, so for mutual fund, you have 14 point, but metal asset given a 48%. So it's not something simple average of all these things. It's basically a weighted average. So we given the portfolio level allocation. So if you look at mutual fund is your 72% of allocations, and then followed by gold is 15%, and then NPS is 12% allocations. And your growth, you started investment from 2017 all the way up to today, it was 78 lakhs. Okay, so the green line indicate current market value, and the blue is indicate your invested value, and the pink is indicated the actual return what it is generated. And you will see what is your each asset level long-term capital gain or short-term capital gain you're supposed to pay for each financial year. In my case, I don't have for metal and NPS. We are not calculating the tax because NPS is always a tax-free investments, and for metal, in the upcoming version we will calculate the taxations. The beauty of this Power BI report is that if you want to, let's say, drill down for mutual fund level alone to see the stuff, you can just click it here, which drill down on the mutual fund level. Similarly, on the metal level, similarly on the NPS level, you can drill down. And also you can expand it by seeing the individual fund level also. What fund you have invested and which given the better return and all the stuffs. How much percentage of it is holding and anything, the travel purchase cost, all the stuff. You can even drill down individual fund level also. How my portfolio growth happened and all the stuffs. Okay. Now you got overall portfolio level. Now, as a next step, you want to have a detailed understanding of every month, combining all this investment every month, how much I'm investing it, the transaction level, right? So if you click it here, overall transaction summary, it will show you from 2017 to till date how much your total investment, net investment, which excluding your withdrawals. And also you can see year wise, metal wise, asset type wise, current invested withdrawal, mutual fund, current invested withdrawal, NPS, and the total combined. And you can able to see month wise also. You might have a SAP continuously running, right? So mutual fund, I am doing a continuous investment, or which month I have done very higher amount, which month I did very lower. All these things you can able to drill down on the day level, and on the day what happened. If you done let's say February month, in this day 28th day, I got done mutual fund investment of 6,500 and then SGP investment of 25,000. Likewise, you can able to drill down on the individual assets on individual day and year wise, month wise, all these things. And you can able to filter based on particular assets, particular sub asset level, particular fund level, all this drill down you can able to do, even the financial year point of view. Right? This is all about the overall transaction portfolio level you can able to see. Now coming to next, the mutual fund individual asset level. So always whenever you click the next tab, just click the, if you mouse over, it will show you control plus click. So click control plus click. So here you will see even more detailed information about our individual assets. So similar information, current value, invested, and all this thing. This all self-explanatory, and you can even able to see drill down the graph, how your portfolio growth happened. Last 1 month, what happened? Last 3 months, what happened? 6 months, how was your return? 1 year, how much your return? All these things, and your portfolio allocations, mid cap, small cap, how much percentage it is, all these things. And similarly, individual fund level also, how many funds you have, current active and exited fund, what was the XIRR of all these things, you can able to get it. And the other important thing is the mutual fund portfolio, we are giving the portfolio versus benchmark comparison. So this is what I was explaining that while selecting the benchmark fund, right? So um, so basically what it is trying to explain to you is that so you have invested 45 lakhs and across what, how many current 6 funds, and which generated 56, which generated 56 lakhs rupees, right? Suppose if you would have invested same 45 lakhs rupees on the benchmark fund one, which is Axis Nifty 100 fund, what could happen to your portfolio? Similarly, you have seen Nifty. Similarly, Nifty next 50, 500, mid cap 150, small cap 250. So this what this 6 bars represent. So basically benchmark one versus your portfolio. So if you look at your portfolio generated 56 lakhs, but if you would have invested in benchmark one, which is Axis Nifty 100, your portfolio generated only 54 lakhs. So which is a difference of 1,84,000. So your portfolio able to outperform Nifty 100 index fund. So all 6 fund diversifications able to outperform the Nifty 100 index fund. Similarly, even if you look at it, able to outperform the benchmark 2, which is a Nifty 50 by 1,69,000. Similarly, for Prudential next 50, and then Nifty 500, and then Nifty small cap also. But it was able to, it is underperforming. It is underperforming against the Nifty mid cap 150 index fund. Right, your entire portfolio. What is the entire portfolio? I have 2 mid cap, 1 flexi cap, and 2 small cap, and 1 index fund. All these funds combined investments, I'm not able to outperform the single Nifty 50, Nifty mid cap index fund. That is what it is trying to tell you for the same investment amount, for the same investment date. And this graph represents, so okay, I'm not able to outperform it, but how consistently I am not able to outperform it, right? So this is overall portfolio level, combining your invested plus the return it is generated together, it's a market value. So if you look at line right, so always the Nifty Midcap 150 is slightly above your current portfolio market value. If you look at the returns perspective alone, Nifty Midcap Fund 150 is always outperforming your portfolio. There are periods where it is underperformed compared to your portfolio. So which is also indicating that during the downtrend, your portfolio is somehow able to protect, whereas Nifty 150 index fund fell more. So you can able to extend this gap also just by looking the bigger visualizations. So this one thing to see how consistently your portfolio is performing it. Now you are able to get the overall portfolio level. As a next thing, you might want to understand how my individual fund performed against all these 6 different index funds. Let's take an example of Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund. You can able to build around. So Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund, you invested 11 lakhs and it generated 15 lakh total market value, which is a gain of 3 lakhs. And if you look at Midcap 150 against Midcap 1, it outperformed all other 5 index fund, underperformed the Midcap 150 index fund. But if you look at when the market fell down, 150 is fell more than the Parag Parikh Flexi Cap Fund. So during this period, specifically Parag Parikh fell less compared to 150 index fund. So that is the known for always the consistency or the volatility protection fund, right? During this pattern, even though it's showing us underperformance, but by looking at this pattern, I would not take a decision of moving my money from Parag Parikh to Nifty 150 index fund, right? Because it won't, in the future, if it happens, my portfolio even go or fall more than whatever the gain I have achieved it. So I always prefer less volatility and capital protection fund rather than higher return with a higher volatility fund. So the overall objective of this dashboard is to filter out or figure out how your portfolio is performing against the decided benchmark and also how your individual fund is performing against the decided benchmark. So if you look at Access Midcap Fund, the green indicates your fund able to outperform against a benchmark fund. If it is a red, your fund underperforming it by 56K compared to benchmark fund. Okay. So if you look at majority of the time in overall my portfolio, none of the fund able to outperform the Nifty Midcap 150 index fund, whereas rest of all the 5 index funds, my portfolio fund able to outperform it. And noticeably, even SBI small cap fund, if I filter it, SBI small cap fund were consistently underperforming against all the 6 index funds, including Nifty 50 index fund. So this is a clear sign of not continuing with this fund because it's not only a recent time underperforming it. If you look at right, since it's a small cap fund, let me compare against small cap index fund, which is a benchmark 6. It was consistently underperforming it starting from 2023 to till date. So if I hold it further, I might not be able to pick it up the gap. So I might keep underperforming it. So this fund I have already decided to switch it. Okay. So this what you will get it from this portfolio versus benchmark fund. And then coming to tax summary, just control click it. It will give you the your financial year wise, what is the long-term and short-term capital gain, and how much you redeemed, what was the purchase cost of that redeemed overall withdrawal, and what was the realized gain for individual fund level you can able to see. And then transaction summary as usual, month wise, day wise, you can able to see. And then NAV purchase analysis is nothing but when you want to make some lump sum decision of whether I can put some lump sum or not, just rather than just based on index well 10% or 20% and then pull it. Here intelligently you can try to analyze what was your average NAV purchased versus your current NAV, how much it is well or how much it is its a value is really cheap. Based on the decision, you can able to make a decision of lump sum. and from all-time high to current NAV, how much it is fell down. It's similar like how we do for 52-week high, 52-week low scenarios. And then similarly, you can able to do rolling return analysis as well for all your invested fund and the fund which you chosen as a benchmark. That's all about mutual fund section. Similarly, for NPS sections, also will have the similar metrics, all the portfolio growth and all the stuffs. And then you will have a NPS transaction summary as well. And then gold and silver, similar way as like other assets. And then you will have your gold transaction summary. And finally, the stock and other assets, which we are gradually integrating to this tool. Okay. So coming to the final summary, what I like to convey here is that, so as a first priority, we are trying to focus on integrating all the assets. And then the next priority item is to, the important thing is to map all our investment against the goal, right? Because whatever the investment and tracking, everything what we are doing ultimately for our financial goals. So I'm going to make this tool as we define our goal and what is required, how long, in how many years we require, and then map the current investment, whether whatever the progress we are making it in line with our financial goal expectation or not, whether we were able to achieve it or not. So those kind of visualizations we are going to plot it, which will be coming soon. This will be available once we integrated all the necessary assets like a stock, all these assets. As a first time user, whatever we have explained it, all these stuffs you have to do. And then in the subsequent days, whenever you have a new investments, you just upload the new statement and then click the daily refresh of those respective assets, which will fetch the latest NAV and all the things. And for mutual fund, very first day, if you selected, you want to compare every day against the same 6 fund as a benchmark, you no need to select every time new benchmark. You just click the refresh saved benchmark, which will consider the already selected benchmark as your benchmark. Suppose if you want to compare a new benchmark, you can do that just by clicking this one. You can select your new fund and compare it. And the other thing is, if you don't have any new investment, but you want to see everyday portfolio growth and other thing, just click the daily refresh dashboard, refresh for each assets, and then just click the refresh button on this visualization dashboard, which will refresh with the latest NAV. So which will also show you what date NAV it's picked and what was your portfolio growth on that day. So that's all about the Portfolio Auditor tool applications. Hopefully this will have a proper direction of setting up and understanding the product in much more easier manner. If you have any queries, feel free to ping me via Reddit or via the chat button on the website. Thank you all.